Blog Talk Radio.
A verbal letter to the president. Listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president. It should be more than evident. Some shit just don't change. A verbal letter to the president. Listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president. It should be more than evident. Same shit, different days. Roll up, smoke out, you know what I'm talking about. Every day the same shit, living by the folk house. Tags out the folks out, how will it get better when you gotta sell that butter? Cause you really need that chance till they fight the war on drugs, like they fight the war on terror. Pledge allegiance to the flag when my future was so good. Politics that shoot you out, with no one looks into the mirror. So if we're gonna make a change, then I promise going there. Verbal letters to the president, listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president, it should be more than evident. Some shit just don't change. A verbal letter to the president, listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president, it should be more than evident. Same shit, different days. What up, Obama? Congrats on Osama. But my niggas in the hood got the same problems. Baby homies, no job, and they can't find one. So we posted on the corner, get the handcuff. High label, that's the third making ends meet. I'm promoting non-violence, staying with my peace. The war started on drugs, now it's in the streets. Fuck a kind of killing niggas like me. A verbal letter to the president, listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president, it should be more than evident. Some shit just don't change. A verbal letter to the president, listen to the relevance in ordinary words I say. A verbal letter to the president, it should be more than evident. Same shit, different days.
What it is, what's going on, people? This is your boy, Yay Rock to Raj, and I want to welcome you to the Determining Our Own Destiny show. We will be talking about the state of black people in America today, but just to start off, I want to let everybody know what the show's really going to be about. We're going to be just figuring out what's wrong with black people, where we going, where we headed, what's our future. You know what I'm saying? And before we get too far, let me bring in my co-host, Brother Flat. Brother Flat, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the people. Glad everybody tuning in. We just want to appreciate y'all being out here. Brother Flat, like he said, and like we said before, man, this show right here, we just want to hear y'all comments. Want to hear y'all opinions. If y'all bringing facts to the table, great. If there's a healthy debate, it's better than no debate.
That's right. Now, I told him we're going to be discussing the state of black people in America today. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything you want to start off with?
Oh, man. Where do we start? I mean, we in trouble in so many ways, and most importantly right now in our generation is our economy. So the investment in our economy should be the number one, most important thing right now, because that's where our children live, that's where our children eat, and the most important thing is our children, because the children is our future. So, yes, that's a great topic for today, so I can't wait for this discussion.
That is a great topic. But we also have to remember when we discuss economics that it's not the only problem, because of things like Black Wall Street and Rosewood and things like that, where we was established. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like to get into the religion, because I feel like it separates us in so many ways, because there's so many different religions, and then people really don't go into it.
Right.
They read half the Bible. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. And the reason why religion need to be touched, no matter how sensitive the topic is because it has been used for a weapon for our people, not only to humble us, but to control us and separate us in division. And one thing we can say that was one of the most tragic things to our people was separation. And this is why, me and J-Rock, that we are completely against integration. We felt like that was one of the biggest downfalls to our people.
I feel like it was our biggest mistake in the civil rights movement. We should have been happy with our own things. We should have been trying to build equally instead of get equal rights. we had equal property, we would have equal rights, period, or we wouldn't have to deal with them.
Correct.
That's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
But
we have a
how can we put our future in somebody else's hands if we're not in head of and controlling our own future? That won't make sense. We have to put our future in our own hands. I won't give my child to somebody else and tell them to raise them and then be like, oh man, you didn't treat them right. Hey, you put his child in your hands. That's your child. You raise your own child, take care of your own child. And
I agree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it takes a village to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? A community. So we can't jump on each other's backs if we try to discipline a child. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just got to get back to the way things were. We have been completely Europeanized, in my opinion.
Yes.
But let me get this caller. Hold on. From the first three numbers. Brother Montana, are you there?
Brother Corey, what's going on? Brother Corey.
How you doing, Montana? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Flat?
Hey,
yeah,
not much.
On today.
What's up, brother? We on here talking about the state of black people in America today. Do you have any thoughts, opinions?
Right now, I was just listening to y'all. I can totally agree on what both of y'all were saying as far as, we need to take care of our own, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do more.
Exactly. I feel like we become too dependent on this society to live.
Yeah.
Like everything we do, we have to go ask somebody else for. Sir, can I please have a job? Can I please feed my family? I'm tired of it. I'm a grown man. I don't want to ask nobody.
And just to piggyback off what you just said, what you're so right about is when we depend on things, I mean, we go to the grocery store to get our food. We send a child to their hospitals. We send our children to their schools. The thing is, when are we going to create our own schools? When are we going to create our own farms? When are we going to have our own resources? So if we keep depending on somebody else's resources, we will not have a future. We have to control our own economy. You have to understand the stores that's in our economy right now, they invested back in their communities. There's no black man in the store. We grew up around the hood. So each time you can go right now, our city right now, go to each hood, there's going to be an Arab in that store or it's going to be a white man in that store. And then guess where that money going to? Not in our community. That money's going right back to their communities. When that store shut down, when that sun go down, where they going? Home, across town. You know what I mean? So we have to invest into our own communities.
And the funny part about that is when it is a black man or African in there, I guarantee you he's an Islamized African, and I guarantee you he don't own the store. He's working for another Arab who put him in there as a front.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Right, yep.
But go ahead, Brother Mike.
What I was going to say is I ain't going to say it's on us, but it's like we don't care. Most black people nowadays don't care about, what's going on in the black community unless it's what's the new shoes coming out, what hot clothes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trying to stay, trying to stay up to date or keeping up with the Jones. They don't care about like the past or what we can do to better ourselves as people, as a black community.
Yeah.
And my thing is
J-Rock about that, like just to pick off what Montana just said, like we're the ROI, and for people who don't know what ROI is, that's the return of investment. And what Montana was just saying, that we're putting our money into the wrong things. Like for example, just last year we spent billions of dollars on clothes like Jordans and miscellaneous unnecessary things. We spent billions of dollars on alcohol. It's just certain things like that. The money can be invested into our communities in different ways as long as we have the right leader, not a manifested leader, which we can say that topic for another time right now.
Right.
But that we're getting attacked in many ways. We need to birth more leaders, train more leaders, and then we have a nation full of leaders.
Yeah. Right. And I'm ready for it. I can't wait for it. I see it happening one day. But this is what I was going to say, I don't even know if it's that we don't care. I feel more as we don't know. And
we're not informed enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not taught in the important stages, you know what I'm saying, when we're growing up, who we are as a people. We're taught that we're American. We should be happy Americans.
Right, right.
I fully disagree with that. I'm a mad-ass African. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a happy American. For what? What I got to be happy? Happy y'all took us out of West Africa, out of our kingdoms, and brought us into slavery? I'm happy about that? Nah, not me. But we do have another caller here. Let her on.
Okay, definitely.
Netta, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. What's the question of the day?
Oh, Sister Netta, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
How you doing?
I mean, I was listening. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The topic for today is the state of black people in America.
Well,
go
it
ahead.
depends on what you mean by the state of black America, because all of us are not the same. You know what I'm saying? So, like we always say, in order for us to come together as a people, we got to be on the same accord, and all of us ain't on the same accord.
True.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. So we're trying to figure out what are the things that split us up.
Well, you know, to be honest, I can't really say what split us up as a people besides slavery and all of, you know, the other stuff that's going on in the world. But I think, you know, it's kind of hard because the reason why I say that by being a mother, you know, and raising black strong males and having females that, you know, that I'm trying to raise to respect themselves, it's like being the type of mom that you got to erase all the stuff that's on the TV. Basically, you got to teach them about reality instead of that. You know what I mean? Like, what they're trying to portray.
Pushed on us.
Yeah, like what they trying to portray. Like, I do totally am against all of the, how you would say, the news interviews. Now, all of a sudden, everybody they interview on the news is black illiterate people. But then they make them rich.
Right. They just came out with another one today.
You feel what I'm saying? So it makes you, as a black person, you know you're going to have some black people that's going to fall into that. Well, hell, we might as well get on TV and act like we can't talk, because there's a lot of educated. We are educated. You know, that's the only thing that I'm getting mad at right now is the way that they portraying us in the media and everybody laughing like, okay, we ain't got time for that, but they've been laughing at us like that for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Now, I'll say that I think they achieved their agenda, not overnight, but through a series of programs. Because after slavery, we was united. Like Marcus Garvey had millions of Africans all over this world united under his agenda.
Yeah, and see, that's what we got to find out where that fell at, because you got to understand a lot of us are lost. And a lot of people are lost because it's not their fault that they're lost, but a lot of people are lost because we don't have nobody saying, well, you know, even down to the politicians that's supposed to be representing black people are not really representing the black people.
Right.
I can't agree with that.
In my opinion, they are bought and paid for.
Exactly, because they're not on the same. They're not on the same.
Every time there's a boycott, they send in Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. Everybody go home.
And see, and that's the business on what I was speaking on just a second ago with manifesting our leaders. Because what's the best way you can control the mass people? That you have to make a leader that can control the mass people. Like I said, we're not going to speak on Obama at this moment, but if you can manifest a leader that can control the mass people, let's say an MLK who was in control of the mass people, let's say if he was controlled and he was a puppet and his strings is being pulled, then they can use him and control him, and now all of a sudden we are all controlled because that is our leader.
But see, the problem is, like you say, like not to speak on Obama, but just to say a black person, a black man, a black woman in general that's supposed to be representing us, it's just the fact of the matter is once you get in that office and you claim you represent us, then represent us for real. Don't say you representing us and use us to get you where you need to be, and then when you get where you need to be, you don't forgot all about us. Now you quote unquote the white person.
Fault, though. I don't think it's all his fault. I feel like we let people get away with that because we don't stand behind things. We go vote and then go home like everything's all good. We don't make we don't demand things when we vote. Like white people got the gun registration league and all this other crap. When they vote
like
for
you
somebody,
said, though,
they get results from their vote.
But see, like you said, though, we just vote for what we feel like is important. See, we forget, okay, we voted for the president. Okay,
right.
Now you got a Democratic president, but then you forget to vote for the governor, the senator, and the mayor. That doesn't change. So by this being Republic, they're not going to work with you. Okay, so what you got a Democratic president, but you got everybody else in the House that's against. Not just saying that, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we can't just vote for the president and just leave it there and think that's going to change.
But in honesty, that's why I believe that the voting card is just, we played that one out. You know what I'm saying? We've seen where it's going to go, and it's not working. It hasn't worked.
I understand what you're saying, but then, I tell people before, the reason why I vote because I have ancestors that died to vote. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm obligated to vote the best way that I know how because I'm representing, my aunts and my mom and everybody that's still living. So I can't.
Understand that. But at the same time, I feel that it was people that died before those people.
Right.
They didn't die for the right to vote. They died for the right to be free, period.
Because that was needed at the time. You feel what I'm saying? Everything has its time. At that time, they died to be free. So once you're free, those slaves died to vote. Or those slaves died. Some black people, we're not just going to say slave, we're just going to say black people died to have the right to go to different schools. So every season it changes.
See,
it changes. Like right now we're fighting and people are saying we need to stop the gang violence. Everything changes. There's no need to.
That goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like they didn't achieve making us a lost people overnight. It goes back to the systems that they put in place. And it's a whole lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
then
the gang violence. We don't make guns. Where do our guns come from? Who's bringing them into the hood? Why are they so easy for us to get? You get what I'm saying? Like it's an agenda, and they followed it, and it's worked to the T.
But see, everybody's not following the agenda. That's what I mean. You got some people that's going to fall. Unlike, say, for instance, me. Like I said, being a mother of 5, 3 boys, and 2 girls. My sons, I'm teaching them the severity of not having guns, the reason why you need to tote a gun. What is the purpose of you needing to tote a gun? I feel like the only reason why you need a gun if you have your own property and you protecting what's yours. These hoods that these young boys claim they need these guns for and protecting these hoods are not their hood. Because as soon as something happens, what happens? You get kicked out your hood.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to, it's like we too as a people sometimes, I feel like we too as a people sometimes got to be held accountable for our responsibilities too.
Like as we think, but to get back on the politics, which I understand both y'all perspective, is that we have to try something different. And that's pretty much what J-Rock is saying, that we have,
I agree.
We have tried religion. We have tried being a Democrat. Some of us has tried being a Republican. But what we're saying is that is another part of the system that has separated us. And separation right now is our biggest enemy, that and awareness, that and knowledge. Because in schools right now, we have problems. For example, they did this little experiment with children, and they put a black doll and a white doll in front of the children, and then they asked them which doll is beautiful, and they pointed at the white doll. Then they said which doll is bad, which doll is ugly. They pointed at the black doll, and then they asked the child which one do you look like. They pointed at the black doll. So that right there. That terrifies me.
Yeah, see.
That terrifies me. But it should, because you got to understand for years and years that how I say this, the Caucasian persuasion, if I can say that, as far as when it comes to the woman, has always been put more beautiful than the black women.
Mm-hmm.
It's even down to the videos. They don't. I mean, if you ain't light bright, damn near white, you're not going to get in the videos. It's very rare when they show a black sister.
Not unless you're shaking your ass.
You feel me? A black sister. So you got to understand maybe the black sisters, which is the dark-skinned ones, that say, you know what, if I got to get in your video to degrade myself, then maybe I don't need to be in your video. But then you got these other chicks that's probably willing to be down to do whatever.
Right.
See, you know what I think that is? I think it's because we in love with the dollar.
Yeah.
I don't think the color has an, I just think, like you say, it goes back to being the right color. You know, you got a lot of these artists, quote-unquote, black artists, but when you look at their videos, it's quote-unquote ain't no black women. You got these quote-unquote black athletes. Half of them are not married to, you know, and so we got to look at within ourselves as a people.
At the All-Star game, when Neo performed, he had all them little white girls behind him.
But that's what I mean. Like, you got to understand, it's like, is what they portray. So if me being a little dark-skinned girl at home and all I see on TV is mostly Caucasian or light bright Afro-Americans, Black Americans, or whatever, it's nobody on the TV that's portraying what I look like.
Right, definitely.
The only closest thing that a black young girl got in her image right now is Michelle.
Right. And you know, and you said something earlier. You said we got to take responsibilities for ourselves. I think that's something we need to take responsibility for, because this all goes back to the 60s and the Civil Rights Movement, when we was talking about segregation versus separation. When we had our own businesses, our own grocery stores, our own every hotels, we was good. If we would have kept on that path, we would have our own TV stations that we could portray our own images on. But we
they say in order to not let somebody grow, you have to keep them concealed and live in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, as black people in general, we need to look out for each other in general. That goes with all the athletes, all the politicians, all of the rap artists, all of the actors, you know, that we just need to come together as a people. Now, how we do this, that's the question. Because who's really willing to in power, really need to step up and say, you know what, I'm tired of this. It's not right. This is what needs to happen. A lot of us thought that was going to happen with the president, but it didn't happen.
Right. I feel like a drastic change is not going to happen. The drastic change is not going to happen if we don't change the knowledge that's being taught to our children at a young age. And so within the books that we get, if the knowledge within them books is still teaching them that they're nothing, that the only furthest knowledge come back is that they came off the boat, they came from Africa. They don't know what part of Africa, they don't know nothing. They just know they was the slaves and the white people was the first president.
Exactly, but see, then you got to understand.
I agree.
That's when I say that, quote-unquote, far as black people, then we have to be held responsible. Just like me, at one point in time, I was in school. I felt the same way. The way they teaching us in school basically probably haven't changed, probably done got a little worse. So me being a mom, having kids, I have to teach my kids myself about our history. Because if they're not going to do it, and see, that's what we mess up at.
This is the thing about that. We have knowledge and we have information now. Like, we've had scholars that went over in Africa, dug in the ground, done the research. We've had scholars here in America that have studied America, done the research. Like, we have the research, we have the information. We can't depend on the white man to give us that information. We got to go get it, and we got to spread it to our kids.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we can't be scared of new information.
You can't be scared, but then, you know, then, like you say, you're right. I totally agree. I can't even argue with that. You're totally right. You're totally right, but it's up. My thing is this, when we as black people going to stand up and say, you know what, this ain't right, we need to take a stance and stop taking a stance against every other stuff that don't really make no sense or it's not really that important.
Yeah, just because they put it on TV don't mean we got to make a stand against it.
Exactly. What about the stuff you're not putting on TV?
9 times out of 10, if they put it on TV, they want you to make a stand against it.
Exactly. So don't put it. Don't do that. Like, say for instance, I'm quite sure their kids come home and say, "Well, it's Black History Month. You got your homework, but they ain't telling you nothing." I noticed that with my own kids. I'm like, they ain't send y'all no paperwork, even down to my elementary school kids. So what you have to do is take the time out and search for the programs that they do have on TV that's teaching our kids. We got this computer, but what we do with the computer, the first thing they want to do is log on Facebook, Instagram, but not take the time out and be a mom or a father and sit down with your kids on the computer and ask them about the Marcus Garveys, ask them about the Harriet Tubmans, ask them about Martin Luther King. You know, ask them, do you don't know this? No, you don't know this. So let me take the time out. See, that's the thing. We don't take time out for our families.
Right. I agree.
If you're not getting it in school, hey, get it at home.
I agree. And we got to be the ones to give it to them. Like,
that's the thing.
This is my point. We live in the age of information. If you have a computer with the internet, there's no reason you can't get this information. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drop a list of scholars out there for everybody to check out. You know what I'm saying? Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakini, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, you know, anybody else y'all thinking of?
Yeah, see, and that's so crazy because all the names that you name, kids probably ain't never heard those names before.
Never.
Ever. I didn't hear of them until 3 years ago.
Never. And then think about how old you are and you just find out about those.
Pick up another book that's not a Bible. Read something different. I know it's the topic, but you have to do it. You can't be closed-minded to one form of religion. You only know about Christianity. You only know about Islam. You only know about Judaism.
Because, see, some people's minds are not bigger than where they from. Like me, that's why I tell people sometimes when they try to me, I can discuss religion because at the end of the day, everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe. I still have my beliefs, but because I'm discussing how I feel with you doesn't make me, I'm not trying to push what I believe on you because at the end of the day, you're going to believe what you want to believe. It's up to you to get the message. And that's what I try to explain to everybody. You know, sometimes when we talk and have discussions about religion, it's more to religion than Christianity. It's more than what we know in the United States. You got a whole nother world.
Exactly.
It's a whole nother world. You got the Russians. It's like a whole continent, a whole nother world. It's global. Not Christianity, but religion is global.
But this is how I feel about religion. I feel, from my studying, I've studied religion hard these past few years, and I just feel like all the religions come to a single source. But and the single source is us in Africa starting this. But we are the ones that don't want to study it. We let white people study it.
See, you lost me when you said the source. You had me when you said the source, but then you lost me when you threw. Because I'm different when it comes to. I feel like it's just the source to me is just the one. It's just one, which it is one source, but it's all different types of religion to receive to get to that source. The source said he didn't. It don't matter how you receive me as long as you receive me. So that's what I said when it comes to.
I think you got my word mixed up.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry,
source,
sir.
I mean, when I say source, I mean it comes from us, the Africans that was developing that religion.
Right.
That other people come into Africa, and when they leave, they take a piece of the religion instead of the whole religion.
Well, can I ask you guys this? I want to ask you this, and I really want to know how you think about this. Like you say, Africa, where the religion started Africa. So, do you feel like all the Africans at that time were the same religion, that they worship the same way, including all the different tribes? Because remember, they different tribes, and even though we might work together as a people, doesn't mean that we're gonna worship the same. So, do you honestly feel that all of the Africans that was in Africa had the same one religion?
Well, that's a good topic. We're going to have to save it because we only have a minute left remaining. We just want to say thank you, Sister Netta, for making the call. Brother Montana, we thank you for making the call. We had to wrap things up. It's a great first show. We hope y'all call back. And everybody, we thank y'all for listening. And please return.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Stay black.
All right, all day.
All right. And before we get off, I just want to say once again, thanks everybody for listening. Call in next week or the next show, and we're going to keep bringing this information. I like how this went today, you know.
Thank everybody. I also want to thank Brother J-Rock. Once again, this Brother Flat speaking. Please return. Let's keep it moving. Keep a healthy debate. Like I said, healthy debate is better than no debate.
Exactly. All right, people.